14 and 68, 22 and 21. The first numbers were the record of the Detroit Pistons last season, and 22 and 21 is the record of the Detroit Pistons this season. They're right in the middle of a playoff hunt currently as the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference, in large part because of Cade Cunningham. They were one of the worst teams in all of basketball last season, and this season it looks like it's completely changed. Let me dive into what exactly makes Cade so special, but before that, make sure you guys hit that damn like button so I can consistently make more videos like this on a more consistent basis. But with that, let's get right into it. First, we've got to talk about Cade Cunningham's improvement as a shooter this season. This season, he's shooting the 3-ball at a 36.8% at 6.5 threes a game, while also still being able to shoot 39% on catch and shoot looks and 35% on pull-up looks. When we look at that in comparison to last season, we see a big jump in that pull-up shooting, specifically in the situations where he's attacking off the pick and roll. Playing in one of the worst spacing environments we've ever seen, defenders packed the paint, especially in the perimeter as well, because they knew Detroit didn't have the firepower to punish them if Cade Cunningham even was going to pass the ball to the open players. This year, it's a whole lot different. When you have guys like Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Tobias Harris, it makes it a lot harder to help off those corners and those looks at Cade Cunningham when he's coming off these pull-up looks. And it's the reason why we're really seeing the full potential of Cade Cunningham, partly just because of the improved situation and just his improved perception at being able to look and find and recognize situations where he needs to punish defenses in these pull-up looks, because specifically in these situations where they're going to be in drop coverage, Cade Cunningham has to make these looks on a more consistent basis, which he has been doing during the season. Confidence is very important when we're talking about some of the best shooters, and that's something he's had this season. And a lot of these looks where he's coming off the screen, even if it's from deep or when defenders are tightly guarding him, he's able to navigate these screens and shoot these pull-up shots very consistently. 35% isn't the greatest percentage, but very much better than the 2.5 attempts at 32% he was doing the last season. It's kind of funny how he's still being one of the best mid-range shooters, even though he's added this to his shot diet, because as a mid-range shooter, we've seen a decrease in the frequency, but he's still able to consistently drain mid-range shots at a very consistent rate at about 41%, which is still pretty good. And with that, it really makes it hard for defenses to guard him one-on-one. Even when it's not in pick and roll situations where he'll punish you with pull-up middies, he's able to hit you with these step backs through the leg shots on a very consistent basis. Cade is a very weird player, and when I mean weird, he's not a player that plays fast like a John Morant or Anthony Edwards, nor is he really slow. He just plays at genuinely his own pace, very methodical in his approach on how he'll like to attack the basket, or again, like I said, shoot his mid-range shots. It's specifically why he's one of the masters of the pick and roll so early on into his career, because he plays at his own pace. He doesn't let defenders rush him into bad shots. He doesn't let defenders try to get all up on him and steal the ball from him, because he has a very secure ball handle. Now, if I'm being completely transparent, he does have a bit of a turnover issue. He averages about 4.4 turnovers a game, but I do think a large part of that is because they don't have a genuine secondary ball handler that's consistent. You look at the team's composition, a lot of the offense comes down to what Cade Cunningham's going to do with the ball in his hands. It's why he has one of the highest usage rate of all the players in the NBA, large part because they don't have another secondary ball handler that can initiate the offense aside from Cade Cunningham. It's one of the reasons why he's one of the best passers in the entire NBA, and thanks to having a better situation, we're truly seeing that playmaking leap we've known he's capable of, but in a better situation. When they can run looks like this where they're running a Spain pick and roll, and when I mean Spain, it means not only do you get the initial ball screen from the center, you also get a second player setting a screen on the hedge defender. What this does, it frees the roller for an open shot at the rim, and this forces Devin Booker, who's the helper, to tag. Now, he doesn't fully tag, he just briefly goes there just to show a body, but this opens up the look in the corner. Contrary to belief, not a lot of players can make that pass. That's a very difficult pass to make and zoom on the other side of the court, but Cade Cunningham has enough zip and ability to make these passes on a consistent basis, partly because he has the vision, partly because of that height as well. His vision and poise in the pick and roll are unreal for a 23-year-old. Cade can manipulate defenses with his eyes, keeping them guessing whether he's going to attack, lob it to a big, or hit a shooter on the perimeter. The Pistons' improved spacing has unlocked this part of his game even more. Last year, defenders could clog the paint without fear of consequences, but now Cade is working with more driving lanes and shooters who can actually knock down those threes. It's a complete game changer for his playmaking, because you're going to have a lot of looks like this where he's in the corner and they can run delay Chicago, where now this goes back to what I just said with his manipulation, where he doesn't need to lob it to the roller here. He can fake it out and just finish it himself. His basketball IQ is immense, and I don't say that for a lot of players. Cade rarely forces plays, and his ability to make the right decision under pressure is what separates good players from great ones. Whether it's a bullet pass to a cutter or a simple swing to keep the offense flowing, Cade is the type of player who makes everyone around him better. Of course, for a 23-year-old, he does still have his weaknesses, specifically as an efficient scorer, and that partly has to do with him as a finisher. Cade right now just isn't a good finisher, and that's okay, because he's still young in his career, and that doesn't mean we still haven't seen some flashes of his finishing. There've been a lot of looks like this where he'll be able to craftily avoid these defenders and still be able to finish at the rim great. That's the thing with Cade. We've seen the craftiness, we've seen the bit of separation, even though he does struggle with that in his mobility. We've seen he's very crafty around the rim. The explosiveness is something he lacks greatly, which defenders are very good at being able to exploit, because even though they don't really bother his ball handle much, when he does try to drive to the rim, that's where defenders have their way with him, because they can push him out of his spots, make him take difficult angled shots around the rim, which they can really hurt Cade's efficiency. If he wants to become a genuine bona fide superstar, that's going to be an aspect in his game that he's going to need to improve to get to that next level. But he's been so great in so many other areas, and he's shown promise as a defender for the Detroit Pistons as well. Cade just isn't a big guard who can pitch in and help defense situations off ball. He's showing some serious promise as a two-way player. His size and awareness and ability to read plays make him a disruptive presence on the defensive end. I mean, a lot of situations when he's in help and being able to protect the rim as a guard is really important, because he's active in passing lanes, he rotates effectively, and he can hold his own against bigger players. While he's not a lockdown defender yet, the tools and instincts are there for him to become one of the better defensive guards. Yes, I don't think his lateral quickness isn't the greatest, but he has shown those improvements that I just mentioned that can really be promising when we're going to be talking about Cade as a defender as these years go by. Now, please, let's zoom out a little bit, because Cade's dominance this season is more than just his individual skills. It's about how those skills are translating to winning basketball. With better shooters and floor spacing, the Pistons offense look completely different. Cade has the room to operate, whether it's in isolation to pick and roll or attacking in transition, and he's thriving in ways we simply didn't get to see last season. Of course, there's still a lot to work to do. Like I mentioned, his overall efficiency as a scorer, especially at the rim, is the main weakness holding him back from the true superstardom. But even with those flaws, Cade is proven he is that franchise cornerstone to me. And man, I am hoping the Detroit Pistons can make the playoffs this season just to see him in a completely different environment where basketball and winning these games are going to be very important in a 7-game series. But with that, let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think Cade Cunningham's true potential is? Do you guys actually think he can be a #1 on a championship level team, a #2, #3? Let me know that down all in the comment section below. And with that, make sure you guys subscribe, like, hit that damn post notification bell to always be notified whenever I upload more videos like this. But before you leave, I made another video on another Detroit Pistons. That's Asar Thompson, and I know if you guys are Detroit Pistons fans, y'all better check out this damn video because it's really good. I'm not biased at all. Your boy's out, man. Peace.